We're doing comic book reacts. You know we gotta do it. We gotta do it. The guy with the hat, Magic Gun Man, whatever his nicknames are.
Hello and welcome to Atop the Fourth Wall.
He said the thing.
On February
He
19th,
said the thing.
2007, I created a blog. Inspired by websites like The Agony Booth, 3B Theater, Jabutu's Movie Reviews, and others, I decided to try
We don't know
my
what
hand
any
at
of those
doing
are.
text reviews of awful comic books. 10 years later, here we are.
10
I often
whole
get asked how I
years,
got
and
into
he's
this,
still
and while I know answering it
Linkara.
all here won't stop people from asking, I might as well try to reach the widest possible audience for a big...
Okay, we gotta let the man speak. I'm gonna turn him up a bit so he doesn't have to answer his questions again. We know how he gets when you have to ask him too many questions.
Remember that before YouTube, video on the internet was just not really a thing. Piracy certainly existed for media through file-sharing programs, but a wide online platform for producing and releasing original video...
Okay, I don't know if you guys could hear that. It was another loud car.
The file sizes were just too big for the web. If you had video on a website, it was usually grainy 10 meg real player videos for popular franchises. I recall downloading clips of upcoming Pokemon episodes that had aired in like Canada or something at the turn of the century that hadn't gone out in America yet, and was satisfied with them despite looking like garbage. Audio was...
We all remember the early days of the internet, especially YouTube, where it's like episode of whatever show here, part 1 of 3 or some shit, and it was in 10-minute chunks, 360p, but we watched it anyway.
Different, and you had an easier time sharing podcasts and WAV files than video. When YouTube did
Were
finally come around
podcasts
in
even a
2005,
thing yet? I feel like podcasts weren't a thing yet.
Using it to create their own original content beyond cute videos or personal stuff that people shared. More piracy. Before that, the only way to talk about movies,
Yo
TV
ho ho.
shows, or
I
indeed
love
comic
Johnny
books
Depp.
in any long-form synopsis was, well, via text. And that's where those websites I mentioned at the beginning come in. These sites reveled in the cheesy, the terrible, and the dredges of media. Mystery Science Theater 3000 got us to riff the movies, but these websites showed us that the internet could expose people to thousands of untapped films and TV shows. Speaking of MST3K and riff tracks, The Agony Booth is where I first heard of Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny. Jabutu, where I first learned how terrible Superman 4 was. These people described movies...
I mean, I don't feel like you have to hear how terrible Superman 4 was. You just kind of watch it. Like, when I, like, those movies were, well, I don't know, actually, by 2005. Yeah, by the era he's talking about, they definitely would have been putting out those, like, box sets to coincide with Superman Returns. Because that came out around the same time as, like, early YouTube. So, like, I mean, maybe even before then, but, like, I feel like you don't have to find out how bad Superman 4 is. That's my point, is that Superman 4 is not great. It's not great. Neither is 3. Let's be honest.
Way that made them accessible even though I had never watched them before, describing in detail every dumb scene, every idiotic piece of dialogue, and they did it with mockery and jokes. And they weren't doing it to make money, no one was paying them to do this, it was just because they had opinions to share, and they clearly had fun with it. And I wanted in. I unfortunately didn't...
Oh, imagine just going online and talking about things at length or extended periods of time for no money? Oh, couldn't be me. I love this glass house. I can't wait to throw stones in it.
The tools or money at my disposal to do this with movies, but I realized that I didn't really know any sites that were doing this with comic books, a medium that I loved. I wasn't an expert or anything.
Fun fact, that's at least 25% of the reason I went with superhero VTuber as opposed to what would have been the other option. Fuck it, I'll just say here. It was gonna be like, it was either gonna be a superhero or like Lovecraftian horror, but that one's been surprisingly dipped into a lot with the VTuber space. I haven't seen a lot of other superhero VTubers, comic booky superhero stuff. If you're out there, hit me up.
And I would argue even after 10 years and 430 plus episodes, I'm still not one. But I knew bad when I looked at it, and I had plenty of bad comics collected over the years, or just knew about through cultural osmosis. And since I was just starting out, I felt I needed to dip my feet in the water first, so I picked an easy target. The first comic released by Image in 1992, Rob Liefeld's Youngblood #1. The blog's original
Hooray,
header
Rob
was a picture
Liefeld.
of the Power Girl miniseries that had come out a few years before, showing Power Girl and Huntress sitting on a wall, some paint shop pro text of "atop the fourth wall" placed over it. The first name I thought of for the blog was Comics Shouldn't Suck, but that was too similar to another blog I read at the time, Comics Should Be Good. And I've always been fascinated by the concept of the fourth wall, the invisible barrier when you're viewing something on a screen or in a panel. You can only see 3 walls at any given time in an image like this. The fourth is always hidden from view.
Not true. If you turn up the FOV, you can see 4 walls, and the floor, and the ceiling. Gotcha.
They thought of calling it Beyond the Fourth Wall, but for whatever reason, I went with Atop the Fourth Wall.
And thus a legend! A legend was born! A legend!
Keep the reviews weekly, but since I was a college student and I wasn't getting any monetary reward for doing this, weekly became monthly, and monthly became whenever the hell I felt like it. You know, just like with History of Power Rangers these days. Then came the...
In his defense, now, the show is over, so he has nothing to history about. Well, we're all safe from his wrath, for now.
Nostalgia Critic, the AVGN, and of course, tons and tons of other video reviewers who utilized YouTube and other video platforms to produce reviews of material.
Okay, I'm gonna drop it right now. 100 either Twitch follows or YouTube subscribers or whatever the fuck comes first. We're gonna do... I will do a reaction to one of Doug Walker's terrible movies. I will do it. I will put myself through that if we can get there. And you're thinking, 100, that's just like such a low bar. And I'm saying this right now. If you're watching this in recording, I'm saying this on stream currently to no one. Let's be honest, currently to no one. But one day, and of course, if I never reach that, then I never have to watch one of Doug Walker's movies. So it's an absolute win for me.
Come October 2008, I threw my hat into the ring for that.
If I blow up and go viral, I'm gonna end up having to fucking watch all of them in a row. But that's not gonna happen. I will be spared.
And well, the rest is history. 10 years!
History for the books! Have you guys read your official comic YouTuber history? There's a whole chapter on Linkara. In fact, there's an entire sub-study called Linkariology. It's all about chronicling the storylines of Atop the Fourth Wall.
Talking about bad comics, and it all comes back to Youngblood. And yet we're still not on issue 10 yet. Ironically,
we're not even 5 minutes into the video, and I can't shut up already.
That's how long I'm sure it felt reading it at the time, considering the constant delays between issues. SF Debris has gone over that stuff in his Rise and Fall of the Comics Empire videos, which I highly recommend. But for now, let's talk about
I've sure never watched his stuff. I've heard of him.
For whatever reason, in September of 1994,
I don't even know if he makes shit anymore. Actually, does he even still make stuff? I know he was decently popular way back when with certain circles. Let's see if he still makes stuff. SF Debris Red. I guess this is him. 2 weeks ago. He does! He talks about Star Trek. And whatever that is. Dirty Pair Flash. Okay, he still makes stuff. Beast Wars. Okay, he's still there.
Decided, hey, let's all switch what books we're working on for the month, thus creating Image X Month. Rob Liefeld went over to
Yet
work on
they don't have
Shadowhawk
X-Men.
#0, while Jim Valentino worked on this issue of Youngblood. I have no idea why anyone thought this was a good idea, especially considering the delay problems they were having working on their own books. Well, I suppose it makes sense for Rob, who seemingly keeps getting bored working on his own stuff to the point where he has to go work on something else for a while. Maybe that's why the bajillion times they've announced one of his properties is going to be made into a movie never ends up happening. He gets bored halfway through the script meeting and leaves. But hey, it ain't.
Are any of his stuff, like, besides Deadpool, has he made anything that people care about? Because I've never met anyone who really even, I think, knows what Youngblood is.
Rob working on this one.
And if they
So
do, it's
let's
like,
dig
they
into
just know it as,
Youngblood
like, a
#9
bad
and
comic.
see if Jim Valentino can do something, anything worthwhile. Or maybe 10 years after I started reviewing this stuff,
I don't know shit
it'll
or fuck
still be
about Jim
crap.
Valentino. It's the theme song, chat. Sing along if you know the words. Let's turn CC on. Welcome to Atop the Fourth Wall, where bad comics burn, and something the Linkara. Listen, you won't learn. You're not this. Well, you're not an artist. Something, something, something. Linkara. Punch. Linkara. I don't know the words. I'm just gonna say that now. Sucks Linkara. This flew fucking 8 years ago. I don't know if this guy happened, but distraction, the things, jumbling the audio.
cover I had
Okay,
is
we're good.
perfectly fine and makes sense given the content of the comic. The members of Youngblood sitting on a couch watching TV together. It's okay, and frankly, I'd be kind of hypocritical to be negative about the cover of something being a bunch of people sitting on a couch watching TV. Honestly, my
Atop the Fourth Wall movie at 1 million subs. Fucking, this is the worst Simpsons couch gag I've ever seen.
only complaint about it is that Badrock sitting on the couch is making one side of the couch lift into the air. Except this isn't a seesaw, it's a couch. The middle should just be weighed down and affecting all four legs. So instead, we're going to talk about the variant cover.
Not
that Liefeld
necessarily.
did. Man, oh man, this one's awful. Forgiving how boring it is with just 3 people in front of a gradient, at least the other cover had a background and seemed to indicate the characters had some personality. It's just horrific in how it's drawn.
Let us
For all the crap we
lay
give
into
Liefeld
this.
for drawing over-muscled characters, we sometimes forget
Lay
that he's
into him,
bad
Lewis.
at drawing over-muscled characters.
Go off,
Look at all
King.
the massive neck veins Badrock has. How tight
You
are his
wear
blood
that hat
vessels
like
to
a
show those
crown.
off just by standing like this?
Let him have
I'm
it.
not even certain he has a neck. I think the head is just plopped onto the
That's
middle of
right.
his torso.
What
How come
neck?
His biceps are half as thick as his chest.
Yeah,
What are all
fuck
the weird
biceps.
X lines on it? Scars, veins, pieces of string that got painted over to match his skin tone. And
He
based
got
on this
the
woman's
landlord
proportions here, we
special
see the
all over
real
him,
target
chat.
demographic of Youngblood. 90s Barbie dolls. How is that woman even sitting on Badrock's arm? There's nothing implying his fingers are curved in any way to have a space to
There's
sit
some
on.
weird-ass
She's just
compositing.
clinging to the side of the arm like Spider-Man. And by the way, classic example
I feel like he
of
used some
Liefeld
kind of
not
like
thinking about
reference photo,
proportions.
but didn't
Forgetting the
incorporate his
50-foot
own
woman
character
leaning on
properly.
Badrock's arm, well, with both legs about 2 to 3 times longer than her torso and head. Badrock either has very tiny legs, or the woman in the purple bikini has even longer legs than the other.
She's got
indicating that
legs
she is,
for
in fact,
days.
Stealth Woman the Amazing. Also, notice how her arms are going straight down? That's because she has to hold up her bikini top by the armpits. It's not tied in the back. The legs thing is just amazing to me. 22 brides
She's
is
using,
looking at these legs
spirit
and saying
gum.
they're over the top. Actually, screw the phrase over the top here. Clearly they are so above the top that they are in the stratosphere. Anyway,
They're
we open with Badrock's
above the
gaping
fourth
maw,
wall.
getting ready to devour us
Ah!
all. I've been optioned. Sure you have, Badrock. Your movie will go down in history history right alongside the Youngblood video game, the Brett Ratner Youngblood movie, the Goddessy movie, and the Extreme Comics cinematic universe as unparalleled successes. Note, this story does not necessarily conform with any known continuity. Whew, that's a relief. I'm sure everybody in the 90s was making massive flowcharts about the timeline of Youngblood books.
I didn't even mean to pick the continuity-free issue. I'm just that good. I just picked this one kind of at random, but we got the one that is continuity-free. I'm that good.
And where everything fit into continuity. Although already the book demonstrates a much better understanding of artistic storytelling as we see Badrock going around what I presume is Youngblood's headquarters, telling everyone about the deal in multiple panels. Also, they're watching Godzilla on the TV, which just makes me wish the comic was everybody watching Godzilla. It would be infinitely more entertaining. Anyway, he goes to each member of Youngblood to tell them the good news, all of them telling him basically the same thing. Be careful what you sign, see a lawyer, keep your eye on the royalties, etc. Also, Shaft is apparently playing chess with
Important to remember that if, say, you may be an aspiring creator and a company approaches you. They wouldn't approach me,
Man, how
but
weird is
they
it
might
to have
approach
someone
you.
playing chess seemingly against no one? Huh. Got a weird sense of deja vu there. Troll even has advice. Just
I don't
watch
get it
out
either.
for those Hollywood types, kid. Troll, he hangs out with you. No soulless Hollywood executive could ever compete with you, you disgusting imp. Die Hard's reaction to the news is
fucking
apparently
roasted his
subdued,
ass.
since he looks like he's recovering from a bad hangover, or possibly being
I respect the short kings.
a robot. He's overreacting to some popcorn that spilled out onto the countertop. But yeah, Badrock is ecstatic. I'm gonna be a star! Yeah, it's almost like you'll be a celebrity superhero and appear on David Letterman. Just like you were a few issues ago.
Remember David Letterman? Probably not. I barely remember David Letterman, and that's only because my grandparents watched him. So he was, like, still on for, like, a good several years. Like, 10 years after... Yeah.
How is this new for you? Badrock flies out to Los Angeles to sign the contract for all this. And on the plane, he loudly sings Buck Owens' song, Act Naturally. Because aging country singers were all the rage with 17-year-olds in the mid-90s. It's actually not his singing that's annoying to all these people, it's that they're on a United flight. As I've kind of implied over the last decade,
airline
Badrock
humor.
is the best character in Youngblood, with a decent backstory and an intriguing premise of a kid, or teen in this case, stuck in an oversized, monstrous body. So putting him in a situation like this, where his
I imagine
inexperience and
someone can
immaturity
relate to that.
is both natural and ripe for comedic and dramatic opportunities. Anyway, Badrock arrives in L.A. Ah, L.A., I'm here! Swimming pools, movie stars. Hey, where's my limo? Sorry, Badrock, but Donald Pleasance had to use it to pick up Peter Frampton and the Bee Gees in the next terminal over. A representative...
I don't know what... That is some Family Guy-ass humor, sir. Some Family Guy-ass humor. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But the point is, he's in L.A., and he's gonna be real disappointed, because L.A. sucks.
Or assistant or something from the studio, whom we never get a name for aside for Jeeves from Badrock, leads him to a limo. Somehow he gets inside the limo,
Remember
despite
Ask
the shot clearly
Jeeves?
showing that he is bigger than the door and there's really no angle from which he can enter. And then we
That
get our
didn't last
establishing
super
shot of LA
long.
and oh good lord. Remember my rant from last time about the terrible, terrible artwork for one panel showing a star-filled sky above New York, wherein there were no stars, the moon was gigantic, and the buildings of New York City were just prisms with crossword puzzles slapped on them? Apparently Jim Valentino decided to try one-upping that. Let's take a photograph of Los Angeles and run it through a few filters so it's this dark, grainy mess of an image. Points for laziness, at least. As I said before, Liefeld's seemed like more work to be lazy in his regard, but this takes the cake. What I especially love about this is that I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be in the middle of the day, yet the filter...
Honestly, maybe they did overdo it with the filters a bit. I don't blame them. I don't blame them. I'm like, I ain't drawing all these buildings. You kidding me? Do you know how many lines that is? Look at all this shit. I'm gonna take a picture, and I'm gonna make the computer turn it to make it look like I drew it. Because that's a lot of lines. I ain't drawing all that.
Make it
Nope.
look like the middle
No,
of the
sorry.
night. Hell, as a result, I can't even be sure if this is Los Angeles or not. We could be looking at a dark, grainy, multiple photocopied picture of Des Moines for all I know.
I mean, they probably
Jeeves
could have
takes
used a
Badrock
better
to his
time of
hotel
day
him
for
to
the
freshen
picture
up before his meeting with the
or
studio.
something. I don't know. It's hard to tell.
And now we have a proper establishing shot, and it is indeed night out.
See, chat, look at all them lines. Look at all them lines on these buildings. Imagine this like 20 times. Would you draw all that?
So
I
if
wouldn't.
It's nighttime. Is Badrock's meeting at 1 a.m.? Was the pollution in LA so bad that it blotted out all forms of light?
Probably.
Or, given this is a superhero universe, is there a supervillain blocking out the sun a la Mr. Burns? Anyway, Badrock is, understandably, impressed by the hotel room. I haven't seen a
I think a
setup
supervillain
like
trying to
this
block
since
out the
Pretty
sun
Woman.
is just
Oh
what
my
normal
God,
LA is
Richard
like.
Gere gonna take me on a shopping spree? Hey, they've got
Hey,
little
that one made
shampoos and
sense.
conditioners in the bathroom. Oh my God, that's almost like every hotel ever. As Badrock
That's
asks
true.
if he can steal
Sometimes I've been to like a couple hotels once where they've got like these little dispensers hooked up in the bathroom where they're like full sized, but they're like dispensers and they're like it's like the soap dispensers you see in public bathrooms, but they're for the shower, and they got 3 of them for like your washing, your soap, your shampoo, and your conditioner. That's what I'm seeing now instead of the little bottles.
the souvenirs, Jeeves starts calling the studio, desperate to be parted with him. But yeah, again, he's a celebrity already. Has he never stayed in a hotel before? No wonder they said this didn't conform to any continuity. Anyway, it's here that Jeeves reveals that the meeting is at
What's
1
a continuity?
and they should be heading out. Badrock walks out with a friggin' sack full of soap, and I would question that. But yeah, just look at the guy. I applaud their forward thinking of making sure he had enough soap. However, Badrock, being a
Fair
spoiled
enough.
17-year-old who doesn't know any better, says that they can't very well start the meeting without him, and decides to put on some TV. I wonder if there's any hockey games on, or a dirty movie, or maybe some cartoons. Wait, get me an internet connection. I can watch a dirty movie that is a cartoon.
I mean, why would you
Jeeves
schedule the
finally gets him
meeting
to
like?
leave with
Why would you not like have the meeting before check-in time at the hotel, or like, I don't know, have someone else go do the check-in and not have him go to, because that's just a lot of roundabout work. Especially since it doesn't seem like they gave him enough time to actually get ready for it.
Except, of course, we saw earlier Badrock is too big to fit inside the door altogether, and his size seems to not actually follow a consistent character model.
Space is warped and time is bendable.
They arrive at the studio, with Badrock continually badgering Jeeves with questions until they finally reach the meeting itself. BR, this is JP, AJ, RH, JM, YZ, VW, and Sully. John Paxton, Angry Joe, Rutger Hauer, Johnny Mathis, Josef Zaritsky, Victor Willis, and Sully? What an eclectic group of people at this meeting!
Only one of whom I've heard of.
Sully's the best, though. He's a funny guy.
Yeah, I love Uncharted.
I tell you, BR, we just love your
Not the
story.
movie.
Well, somebody had to be a fan of Youngblood to get this thing made. It's got it all. Humor, pathos. All we need is a little skin. Hey,
Ew.
I'm not that kind of a guy. Of course you're not. And that's what's so perfect. Okay, comic, I'll give you that one. That was kind of a clever joke. My God, don't stare directly into Badrock's mouth. Your soul will forever wander in the abyss.
He's got his ass
Anyway,
a
they
Shaggy
talk about
sandwich
the
there.
merchandising
Damn.
potential of Badrock as the real seller. No argument here. Just think
What the
of
fuck? I was gonna say something about Spaceballs, but real quick, they're making a Spaceballs 2 after like 40 years or some shit. I don't remember. I don't know how long it's been. That shit's older than me. You think I remember how long it's been since the first Spaceballs came out? Hell no. But they're coming out with a new one. That's interesting.
all the possibilities. Pull toys, shoes, kids' meals, yo-yos, watches, mining equipment, prophylactics, custom weapons holsters, pogs. Oh, God bless you, 1990s.
Badrock, he's back in Pog form.
Slimy lawyer goes up to him and says that, of course, some of the stuff will be for promotional purposes, and therefore he won't get royalties for it, pulling up a massive contract for him to sign. And yeah, as expected, it's a garbage contract. I mean, we can't even see very much of it.
Insert company from the internet here for your favorite joke. What is a company you don't like from the internet, perhaps in the VTuber space? I will not mention anyone specifically, but you yourself at home can Mad Libs the joke here.
But all of it has stuff like your concepts and your trademark. Also, blah, 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 blah. I don't think this is going to hold up in court, guys. The director of the film
Yeah,
walks in, who you would think would be part of this meeting already, but whatever. The world's most successful movie maker, tycoon, bon vivant, and the social conscience for the...
I have to look up what a bon vivant is. A person who enjoys a sociable and luxurious lifestyle. Okay.
entire world. Let's give it up for Mr. George Spielopoulos. Spielberg isn't available? Then get me his non-union Welsh equivalent. Though I am wealthy
Damn.
beyond the dreams
Beat
of
me by
avarice,
1
I must
second.
remain as one with the common people.
What?
I admit
What? Am I missing something? What?
I was a kid in the 90s, so maybe I just didn't notice this, but was Spielberg really known as a man of the people? Hey, I just want you to know that I really think you got a bum
I
rap
always knew Spielberg as that one movie director that people actually knew the name of.
at the Oscars, but I won. See? Despite the insult to the guy directing his damn movie, Spielopoulos just ignores that and starts talking about his vision for it. What I see is a monumental epic with a full orchestrated score. By John William Stravinsky, of course. Sorry, but he's working on another project. But I hear that Howard Shore Bernstein is available. Bad Rock,
Who?
however, has only one question for
What?
these Hollywood types. We go cruising the strip now, see the sights, check out the babes. Heck, I'll even go for a few quick games of hoops if you old guys think you're up to it.
Is it called the Strip in LA? I thought it was just Hollywood Boulevard. That was like the touristy place. It's like Hollywood Boulevard with the Walk of Fame and shit. There could be the Strip in LA. I'm not familiar with what. I know that if you're talking about a city with a famous quote unquote the Strip, it'd be Vegas with all the casinos.
It's 2 in the morning, Bad Rock. And indeed, they apparently let Bad Rock go on a sightseeing tour with
Okay,
Jeeves.
no,
I'd
they
say that
were
my joke
talking
about
about
the time of day would just
fucking
be
Hollywood Boulevard.
exaggerating, except once again, they do the massive amount of filters over a photograph thing.
Okay, now
over
this one is
Grauman's
weird because
Chinese
this
theater.
this doesn't look like a filter. They drew over it. This isn't a filter. They drew over it. They are intentionally really trying to add a lot of like blotting and stuff. They literally they drew over the photo. Like you can tell the old one had like the filtering effect, but you can see with like some of these blobs and stuff, like this some of like the scratching and stuff. It's I don't know, maybe I'm no, this definitely looks like it was drawn over. Unless filters back in the day
sky
were
dark and black.
somehow
So this is
more
in the middle of the night.
stylized.
Oh yeah, at the time it was Mann's Chinese Theater, and they clearly don't want to say it for fear of a lawsuit or something. So they only say it was formerly known as Grauman's. Except it is called that again nowadays. So there you go.
Okay, so why does that thing have its name changed? Let's look up that thing. Grauman's Chinese Theater. What's its deal? What's its deal? Let's just ask why it's famous. When Chinese percentage of the structure. Now the TCL Theater. Okay, it's got a new name. It's the TCL Chinese Theater now. Who the fuck is TCL? Wait, are those the TV people? Are those the people who make TVs? Let me just think those are the TV people. Is it owned by the TV people? Why they always gotta put their names on shit? Like every sports stadium is like company name stadium, and it's like, bro, that sucks. That sucks. That name sucks. That name sucks. Come up with something catchier. How about you come up with something fucking catchier? Oh, here's the Wikipedia article. Known as the Chinese colloquially, and as TCL Chinese Theater for sponsorship reasons. God, companies, for real. You don't have to fucking, you could put up a fucking brought to you by sign somewhere. Don't fucking slap your name on it. It sounds shitty. The nearby Grauman's Egyptian Theater. What's that about? Egyptian Hollywood, or the Egyptian, is a historic movie theater located in Hollywood Boulevard in Los Angeles. Decline. This one did not. Further on into the Chinese theater, its popularity surpassed the Egyptian, mostly likely due to this Chinese. Oh yeah, because they did all that. That's that theater. Yes. And then Netflix, I guess, started doing stuff here at this one. The Egyptian. It seems nice. Seems nice. Originally, Grauman's Chinese Theater was renamed Mann's Chinese Theater in 1973 and reverted to its original name in 2001. On January 11th, 2013, Chinese electronics manufacturer TCL Corporation purchased the facility's naming rights for $5 million. A Chinese company owning the Chinese theater. You know what? That makes sense. That checks out. Okay, but why was it changed to Mann's? Man? It was in the 70s, so let's scroll down. Hang on. The Chinese theater was Ted Mann, owner of the Mann Theaters chain. So he bought it and he put his name on it. And it just so happened to sound it man with two N's, and it was Grauman's. And now it is simply mostly known as the Chinese theater or something, I guess. Anyway, enough of that detour. Let's get back to this.
Bedrock demands that, since he's now a big star, that he should have his handprints in concrete there too.
You could probably just do that.
Jeeves, who has to arrange it. Although apparently, from what I've read,
Man, that was fast.
Not as difficult as you would think. Isn't he in Wildcats? No, stupid. Stormwatch.
If I was in that position, I'd be like, no, put me on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Just like, I mean, I assume both of them, you gotta like pay for it. But like, the other one looks fancier.
Next generation of heroes, everyone. So recognizable, even in their own universe.
I sure as hell don't know who they are.
I thought it was...
I mean, I feel like with some of the references he's pulling out, he doesn't really have much room to talk about saying, oh, look, it's John Goodman. He's kind of got that build, you know? He's kind of got that build.
Jerry Mathers.
He's definitely more muscular by a lot. And I don't know who the fuck Jerry Mathers is. Again, man, glass houses. I said I love throwing stones in my glass house. I don't know what you're doing.
Up to Bedrock, wanting to hang off of him. Jeeves, bring the car around. The ladies and I would like to go for a ride. With the top down. But sir, it isn't a convertible. And Bedrock rips the top of the limo off. You know, I was just thinking to myself that this kind of reminds me of a Twilight Zone episode. In that I want Rod Serling to walk out at some point and give an ending monologue so this thing will be over. Let's...
Ah-ha-ha! Ah-ha-ha-ha! Ah-ha-ha-ha-ha! Ah-ha-ha-ha-ha!
Cruise Melrose. Maybe we'll see Shannon Doherty. And maybe something will actually happen in this comic aside from Bedrock making an ass of himself. But I doubt it. Later, Bedrock and the women, who have now transformed into two blondes instead of a blonde and a redhead as before, are walking down Venice Beach. Oh, and hey, a special guest appearance by Cinnamon over there. They spot Muscle Beach, where a bunch of weightlifters are showing off and, well, lifting. And Bedrock decides to...
I first heard about the mere concept of Muscle Beach, or Muscle Beaches. I don't know if there's others, or if it's just like this one that's on Venice Beach that's really famous. I first heard about it from SpongeBob. I didn't know it was a real thing. It's like, okay, who maintains these weights? Who stops them from getting all rusty? Who cleans them? Whose job is that? Do they bring their own weights?
Valentino making a jab at Rob, or just weightlifters in general. It's just a bizarre
I feel like you'd be
sequence that's
safer in a
kinda
gym.
critical given the art style. Yeah, Valentino's art is better, but only by so much. Hey, you with the skin condition! You think this is funny? I can press 420! I can really blaze it!
I was gonna say something about the voice he chose, but then I noticed in the balloon it actually says duh and dis and tink. So yeah, no, they asked him with their choice of dialogue to make that voice.
You think this is funny? I can press 420! I can really blaze it!
And I am aware of the irony of me saying about someone choosing a voice when I sound like this.
Why is everybody laughing? The Muscle Man challenges Bad Rock to see what he
The
can
weed
do.
marijuana.
Odd, considering he's like a giant who's also over-muscled, but whatever. Bad Rock lifts up the concrete area where they're lifting and throws them all into the sea.
Oh man, it's like that one Dragon Ball picture where Boo is lifting up everyone.
Our hero, everybody! Come
Yeah.
on, ladies. The sun is slowly sinking in the west. That was great, Bad Rock. They probably have concussion.
Why would you call out? Everyone knows where the sun goes, where the sun goes down.
Now, that was great. A day or so later, Bad Rock is back at Youngblood HQ talking about.
Okay, it looks like the heavy blacks are just like part of this guy's art style. Like, I mean, say what you will about the depiction of like times of day and whatnot, but like that seems to be an intentional choice.
Who asks if he got script approval and creative consulting, but Bad Rock, of course,
Yeah,
says
look at
he doesn't
this.
have to worry.
Did he say Jim Valentino? I'm sorry, I can't remember. Let's see if he puts the credits here. No, I think he said it was Jim Valentino or some shit. Yeah, a lot of heavy blacks. I see a lot of that in one of the few current comics I am reading, Ultimate Spider-Man. Like there'll be a lot of panels where there'll just be a lot of black hatching and stuff in the background, but that's usually for like,
Show's gonna be
well,
great.
I'd say
It's
emphasis,
gonna have
but it's just kind of
action,
there
suspense,
sometimes.
Everything. What messed up world are we living in where Troll apparently has more sense than Bad Rock? We then get a montage of the next 6 months. Bad Rock getting updates from the studio about the project, how media watchdog groups are pressuring them to change the script, and that they keep avoiding showing the script to him. Not too long later, TV Guide officially announces the launch of the TV series with little advertisements for the Wildcats animated series on CBS and Spawn on HBO, which just raises a crap ton of questions since, as we're about to see, both Wildcats and Spawn are still people in this universe.
I have seen neither of those, but I've heard decent things about the Spawn show. I mean, aside from the fact that it's related to Spawn, but what can you do about that?
So is it like Cops where they follow them around, or did the actual people sign away their TV and movie rights? The premiere
I don't know. I see that a lot. I see that a lot in superhero media, where it's just like they're making like of the original Ultimate Spider-Man 2, like, or not Ultimate Spider-Man 2. God, I hate this. The original Ultimate Spider-Man also had a story arc about them making a Spider-Man movie, and then the real Spider-Man was like, "What the fuck, man? I'm the real Spider-Man." They're like, "Yeah, suck, bitch." And yeah, he didn't get it. They made a movie about it, and he didn't get money.
Of Image to gather together to watch it. And where is it being held? We're just outside this stately mansion here in the heart of Gotham this beautiful Saturday morning. Well, the Spawn/Batman crossover is considered canon in Spawn, so I guess, yeah, Batman does exist in the Image universe. So it's only appropriate. Also,
Batman loves large gray people and shows therefore about them.
Spider-Man's leg there. Cute,
And
but
so
what
does
exactly
Spider-Man.
is the point of referencing these guys? Shouldn't you want to not remind your readers of the competition? Also,
it is a weird choice. I'm going to say this is a weird choice to go and be like, this is the big thing for number 9. Like, I know he said there was a big, like, everyone's shuffling around event, but like, this isn't like an event. This this isn't the big thing. This is all a big joke. So why are they doing all this? Why are they acting like big setup?
Pants?
All these people coming.
What? Is this a reference to someone? Bad Rock calls this guy
That's
Ruben.
me with so many of these jokes.
I get the feeling with his distinct look that I should know who the hell this guy is, but I'm drawing a blank. Also, get a load
You
of
and me both.
Badrock's outfit.
Bad tie. No style.
We get a montage of various
Right?
characters.
Okay. It's not bad. Okay, the tie maybe, but like the red, it's a look. Honestly, you could pull that off. I don't think we need to be that mean. It's a look.
Style.
I think
We get a
we get it.
montage of various
you know.
characters reacting to the news of Badrock's show premiering, including our old pal from that book I reviewed way back at the start of 2010, Pitt. I'm looking forward to it! I only hope this series gets released more often than my own books. No, seriously, it took Pitt 6 years to release 20 issues. All-Star
Damn.
Batman and Robin had a better release schedule. Even Spider-Man, here labeled as unidentified, speaks up about it. I think
Man,
it's
they're
amazing.
real zoomed in on the eye there. Again, why? It's weird. It's a choice, I guess.
Spectacular and sensational. You could even say
But
it's
this
friendly
isn't-
neighborhood, web up,
I don't know.
or even adjectiveless. At the bottom, there's this shadowy figure that I think is supposed to be Batman, except I'm just guessing here. With the generic mask shape over the face and complete lack of detailing, it could be Chapel or that Dutch guy from a few issues back. Maybe even
Just
the
like some vague eyes-ish and teeth.
most memorable of Youngblood members, Task. Do you remember Task? Of
No.
course you don't. He was even in the last issue, and I don't remember Task. Anyway, here's this big
Who the
image
fuck
of...
remembers any Youngblood characters' names? I guarantee you I'm gonna click off this video and forget the one guy's name. I already forgot it.
everyone in the Image Comics universe, and it's fairly impressive
That
for
guy.
showing just the sheer total number of them. George Perez, eat your heart out. Okay, I'm hoping
Rest in peace, George Perez.
that was just some good-natured ribbing between friends at the time, because if it wasn't, dude, you don't get how couches work. By the by, I'm not a superhero, but
I mean, I feel like we could have assumed that. We could have assumed that, so you don't have to call it out.
everybody show up to watch TV in their costumes. Anyway, the Badrock show starts with a rap theme song that we can't hear, but everyone is suitably impressed by. However, that quickly ends as we're treated to what the Badrock show actually is. A kids show with a doofy, fat cartoon Badrock who's singing a song about getting a pie in the face. And as the entirety of the Image universe begins laughing, you can see that Badrock takes it well. So here's my...
Okay, so I know he signed a bunch of shit away, but like... No matter how much you sign away, they'd show you that before, I think. Or you'd think they'd want to get him to voice himself or something? Or like with the Jackie Chan cartoon. Everyone remembers the Jackie Chan cartoon? He didn't voice his actual cartoon self, but Jackie Chan was in it, and he had segments in it at the beginning and the end. Why wouldn't they do that?
My question, did nobody actually read the TV Guide article about it? And so our comic ends with Shaft and
I don't
lightsaber
remember. I'm too young for TV Guide. I don't know shit or fuck about TV Guide.
discussing how Badrock will get over it, but they need to clean up their thoroughly destroyed TV that he smashed. And the moral
Wait a
of the
second. Wait a second. That's not their TV. That's Batman's TV. They said specifically that this was in Bruce Wayne's house. Don't you lie to me. You literally showed the big group shot of everyone together. You showed them all going into Bruce Wayne's house. Don't say it's their TV. This is Alfred's fault to clean up.
story is, be careful what you wish for. It might wind up on TV. I wished for Youngblood to be a laughingstock, and I got my wish. This comic sucks.
But again, I don't know anyone, like, I've never spoken to anyone or heard anyone refer to Youngblood in any positive way. Do people like this? Are there people who like this? I don't understand. It's got to be like a Ponzi scheme or something.
But you know what the sad thing is? This is probably the best issue of Youngblood so far. I'm
Well,
not
that's
kidding.
unfortunate.
It has well-established characterization, setup and payoff for Badrock's dickish behavior. The artwork is miles ahead of Liefeld since it has backgrounds and actual use of artistic layout and flow. There are jokes here and there that land. It doesn't introduce a dozen new characters that we're supposed to care about right off the bat, and it tells a complete story without a boring...
Yeah, look at this. This like, you could maybe say some shit about that tie, but like, the red blazer is not a bad fit. It's not a bad look.
Nonsensical fight scene that we are completely apathetic about. Don't get me wrong, though. Just because it has positives does not mean that it is good. The comedy was more than a little over the top most of the time. Badrock was still a dick, and there's nothing to imply that he actually learned anything. The art was still either lazy with some panels or inconsistent.
Again, man, like,
actually learned anything. The art was still either...
I don't want to fucking... No one wants to draw that shit. No one wants to draw all those lines. Look at all these lines. Then they make it a little too dark, I guess. It's kind of hard. A little too dark maybe in some places. But, it's not the worst thing. I ain't drawing all these lines.
Lazy with some panels or inconsistent with character models. And in the end, it leaves you with nothing but a feeling of emptiness for the whole thing. So even when the book is handed to other people who are not Liefeld, it's still garbage. Next time, something fun to show how this year can be better than the last. We're gonna actually have some Mr. T action in it with another issue
Mr.
of the
T.
A-Team.
Okay, is this... Because we will have to... Oh, no, this isn't one of the ones with his infamous storylines. Okay, this is... We did it. We watched an episode of Atop the Fourth Wall. We're gonna give that a like.
During the montage,
oh,
the
after
Max
credit
has
scene.
this insightful comment. What? And really, what else can be said about Youngblood?
After credit scene. He's on that Marvel grind set. Okay. Well, stream today did not go as planned.